I'm doing blessed and highly favored, and definitely hope the same for you. And if this is your first time talking about my much love to you and welcome into my returning subs, my growing extended beautiful family. Just thank you so much. We're all going through these crazy changes where we're trying to find our way, you know, to our salvation. And it's an interesting ride. You're learning a lot of things on so many different levels that you can be able to take part, take it with you. Through every changes that's being is being placed in your life for the better. So with that being said, much love to all. Namaste. Love and blessings, love and light. Many blessings are definitely coming your way. And if you have been watching my videos for a while and have not already, please like and subscribe. Hit that notification bell at the bottom so you know when I'm about to upload my next video. Also, if you're comfortable enough, drop me a line or two. I would love the chance to get to know you as much as you're getting to know me, even if it's about the positive feedback and the content of my video, or you just tell me about your empathic gift, how it impacted your life and heading you towards a positive direction. If you feel like the videos are very uplifting, comforting, give you good vibes that you would love to share with a loved one, family, or friend, or even a fellow empath, they're going through trying times at the moment, and are needing spiritual guidance or just needing confirmation or validation towards life path or even soul purposes, please go ahead and share. And while you're at it, give your girl a thumbs up and like and even share on your social media favorites wherever you see fit. Thank you so much for the love and support. It is so truly appreciated. And I hope that you're able to resonate with the content of my video. The music that I'm listening to today is called Reiki music, natural energy, emotional and physical healing music, healing meditation. And I will post that link in the description box below. It is so comforting because I feel myself getting comfortable. And I know I'm like tired, but I said, you know what, I got me some stuff that I got to do today. So go ahead and get it through and you can go ahead and rest up. Is The video I'm doing today is called Twin Flame 101. Heyoka's lost in the midst of transition. You'll find the real you in a place you least expect it. We're going through all these intense changes. I just did the video on the deeper meaning of understanding your karmic cycles and how you can break those things. We're all going through major transitions right now where we're hypersensitive towards everything. You're probably getting body aches and pains, not even being able to sleep. You're like, oh, I'm so tired, like I did last night. But also that my fur babies, it's just like, I mean, they can even tell things are, changing because they start acting all crazy too as well. Um, that you can lay down and next thing you know you got 100,000 things going on to your mind. It's like, oh, I can't wait to jump into my bed, and then next like, oh, I wonder if I have to do this or I got to do that, or tomorrow I got to do this. And I'm just like, can you shut your brain off? You need to get this rest. You need to go ahead and recharge. You have to do this me time for yourself so you can get some sleep. So I didn't go to sleep until like almost 5:30 this morning, a little bit over over 5:30 this morning. My cat Irma, she gets upset when it rains really hard. She was one of the animals survived the hurricane. I think it was, yeah, the hurricane in New Orleans. So it's like anytime it rains really hard, she gets really antsy. But it's like we're going through all these different changes. It feels like a spiritual detox. You're going through upgrades, you're getting downloads, you're ascending. Some of us are still going through the retrograde where it's bringing intense volumes, many different volumes of dark night of the soul. So you're all these unwanted feelings are coming up and you're trying to get understanding. You're trying to allow yourself to get within that peace of your soul, peace of your peace of mind. And those things are truly deserving. But it's all about how you tend to look at things. Allow yourself to, because you're getting signs every day. You're going through these major transitions. You're becoming stronger within your craft as well as your gifts. It's more things is coming away, so it can have different projects that you might be merging in. You becoming very creative in your transition. But at times it can be overwhelming because you got so many different things going on at one time. And it's like when I see it, I get visions of many people because I was going through that but I just, found out the deep root of, the understanding of why I had to go through these things, and it's all about how you tend to look at the transition. It's like we're all going through these empath boot camps where it's strengthening us. You're being challenged every day. The things that are a very sensitive subject to you are, seeing how you're going to tend to go about it, dealing with negativity, healing from loss and lack of, um, allowing yourself to be open towards the vibes of peace and understanding and awareness that is needing your attention. you know um at times it's like, we're on this path, and sometimes you can go through so many different emotions. And it's like I told y'all the other day, when you're going through these retrogrades, highly agitated, you can get angry, or you can be really emotional. Like, you can just cry out of it. It doesn't take nothing. Just, it's like a cry of a button. I was going through that earlier today, but then it wasn't about sadness or despair or anything like that. But it's when you can finally understand why things are falling into place like that for yourself. Because a lot of times when we don't, it's all about how you look at the things that are, you tend to focus on the change that's going on into your life. You can get overwhelmed because it's like, as soon as you're over here, something changes over here. As soon as you get back over there, something done teamed you up in double time and came back to you, and you weren't even expecting it. But these are the things that, when it feels like your life is falling apart, is allowing you to be able to place it together on how you like it. We're all going through, healing from different abuse or neglect or whatever, has been placed you on your path. Um, it strengthens you in ways, and giving you the understanding, and allowing you to give the patience and trust the unknown. Because, it's a lot of the things that we're being tested with is just being able to trust the process that is taking us, because it's like, when I'm seeing all the things that's transpired in my life, it's like a veil has just been lifted. It's not heavy. It's really not heavy of all the things that I'm seeing in life. Everything feels like a blessing. You're seeing a sign on everything you're coming into contact with, whether it's a book or a movie you're being drawn to, or a certain link that somebody's leaving on social media, whatever social media platforms that you choose to connect with, as well as, when you're on here on YouTube, watching my videos or watching other ones, that is being brought to your attention, that you truly need to know about what's growing on inside of you. You have to go, you have to grow through it to get to it, and then I'll allow you to see the blessings within those transformations that you're truly going through, that you're going to benefit on all levels. But if you're allowing yourself to really look at it in a negative way, it's not going to be fun for you. It's like, you have to be at that point where I'm getting happy with the challenges, is even though the challenge can be frustrating, but it's allowing you to see, do you have what it takes to conquer this challenge? You have what it takes to overcome some kind of task that you really been, struggling with the last couple of weeks, or a couple of months, or something has been brought to your, to your attention about your life that could have really been traumatizing to you. Those things hurt, but then you can allow yourself to see the depth in the meaning of why those certain things happen. It's just like when you're dating somebody, and you look at the different relationships you've been in, that me growing up, or even the friend girls that I used to hang out with, back in the day, we'll all sit up there, just like guys do. Like, oh man, I just really hate that I went into this direction with this guy or whoever, whatever, either your partner, same sex or opposite sex, whatever. But it's like different, situations you've been placed in, and some of them can be very toxic, some of them can be very volatile, very abusive, whatever you want to call it. But those are the things you had to go through for you to be able to understand the signs. If you never chose this type of person, you know you wouldn't know the lesson that needed to be learned from in that connection that you needed to find out in a way. Because a lot of times we try to understand, why do we pick these certain people? And it's just like, when I'm doing one-on-ones, and I have to talk to my friends, that are going through this time of where they're wanting a companion in their life, or they're wanting that person to be there for them, but they're just trying to understand why they're alone at this time. I said, when everything is like got you boxed in, where this is your you time. These are the things you have to dive deep. heal from whatever, excess baggage you have from your last relationship. Allow yourself to heal in places that is needed. It's a good time. You can go out, have fun, you know, with people, but it's just that at that time when you're going through that, there's some people that I used to even connect with. They were like, Roslynn, I was talking to such and such, this dude, or this girl I was, trying to get to know. And all of a sudden I found out that they were doing this, or, I found out they were married, or, these are the things. And I said, well, I'm gonna ask you honestly, have you healed from the last relationships you're with? Are you still holding on to things that may have sabotaged your relationship, or just allowing yourself to sabotage yourself? Because it was like when I was going, growing up, and I was still with my ex, it would be like on and off, on and off, on and off. And it was like he'll do his thing, I'll do my thing. But the thing is, every time I start seeing some new person, and then he would come in just to distract me, and that's all I would talk about. And it's like, rule number one, when you break up with somebody, you do not talk about your ex like that to a person that you're trying to get to know. Because the more you keep talking about it, and the more that person keeps coming around, that's going to let them know, hey, is there something going on with you, or do you still care about that person? And I had to allow myself, no, you're self-sabotaging yourself to things that could have truly been a blessing. But all these things had to happen for a reason. And now it's just like when I went through that toxic, relationship with my ex, I'm grateful for it, because it took a long time, because it was like when I first started doing my soul searching, as well as my spiritual path. It was very hard, because I was like, my father just passed, and finding out the truth about, my identity, about my parents, then finding out the truth about the deception from the knowledge of my parents being severed. That was a lot for me to deal with. On top of my toxic relationship was ending, and I had to allow myself to, as I see it now, the universe was testing me to let me know, look at all the things you had to deal with at that time. There's things I was reflecting. Those are the things that I need to know on a deeper level. Being open for the information that was needed for me to learn off of that situation. Allowing yourself to know, if it was meant to be, it'll still be there. If you chase it, not everything is meant to connect once it's lost, you know. And it allowed me to love me from those different things, because it's like I didn't have that. I had daddy issues, so I didn't really have my mom's ex-husband there to really show me what a good man is. But it was just, the fact is, with him, that's not something he was supposed to do. I had to allow myself to be, my mom had to be my mother and my father, so going through all these different things, and where I see my life is heading now. I mean, I'm so proud of myself, because I'm learning and growing every day. When I find out different things, or I'm going through different experiences in my life, and seeing the depth of it and the meaning that was needing me to learn, is truly a blessing, because, I like being able to share that with you, because you're going through, not same, maybe not even the same situation, but we're going all through those chain of events where we need to allow ourselves to dive deep within ourselves, have that confidence within ourselves, have that self-love for within ourselves, being open to all the knowledge that's needing to come towards us, to allow you to say, you know what, you want to have this, this better life. You want to have a relationship to where the love is matching up with the companionship that you're carrying. You're going to find somebody, is going to balance out. But you had to go through these road of redemption, salvation, heal yourself where it needs to be healed. So while that's going on, in the midst of all those transmutations, as well as transitions, upliftment, ascensions, all these different things, universe was on the other side, behind the scenes, working overtime for, for when you're allowing yourself to be open for that gift, and you're allowing yourself to heal where it's needing to be healed, not allowing yourself to keep constantly, you know, thinking or talking about things that happened in your life that slowed you down or kept you at a low frequency, made you very depressed, agitated, mad. You have to allow yourself to see, if I didn't go through these things, I would really never know what I was capable of doing, capable of overcoming, capable of conquering. You had to be able to go through those things and really truly appreciate what all those connections with those different friendships were. I had friends that, known for years. My mom's ex-husband, I was, adopted into a military family where, people always ask me, hey, where you're from? I'm like, look, it's hard to tell you where I'm from when we ain't really stayed there, stayed long. If anybody who has military family, prior military, you'll be lucky if you stayed somewhere for 7 years or for 10 years, and it was always that because I constantly moved around. And, it was really hard for me to say, oh, I'm from here, because I never really stayed somewhere. I was born, pop, you know, straight moved from another place, went to another place, went back overseas, came back, went back over there again, all these different things, went back on in our lives where, everything was transitioning for me. But then I allowed myself to really see how I was from before, because I was a hot mess. Yeah, I was a very hot mess because it was like the people I was picking, um, the things that I wasn't filtering out. Because a lot of times, I got these friends, or anybody that used to, tell me, okay, I got this type, this type, this type, and I said, I got a question. Have you ever tried to mix it up a little bit? Because if you keep on having these failed relationships on doomsday or whatever, don't you know you need to stop picking out the ones that you have? You gotta, go for something different. You ain't gotta keep going on for that, because you obviously see that type of person. You gotta change your filter. So you have to allow yourself to change up. It's just like if you're, on a movie site like Netflix or whatever, they got the romance, they have the comedy, they got the horror, they got the thriller, they got the documentary. Those are the things that, those different kind of categories. When you're allowing yourself to say, oh, I want to make now, you have to find somebody that can be spiritually nurturing. You're an empath. You don't need somebody that's, that doesn't have no kind of beliefs in anything, or not being able to be open towards the unknown. They don't be looking at you like, oh, okay, this is like a space cadet, or something like that. But it's just like all about who you're allowing yourself to mirror or being mirrored to. It's just like, because when I see the people I was, really looking at, at one time, I was like, what the hell was I thinking? But I had to go through these different things. And a lot of people don't realize it's like the people you're picking is basically mirroring how you see yourself. And it was just like with my toxic relationship, there's insecurities there. It's like loss of communication, not being honest, this, infidelity constantly, you know, but then I allow myself to say, it's all about what you accept, it's all about that, because it was just like, you know, growing up, it was me talking to, different guys and stuff like that. And they were like, what do you want in a relationship? What are you looking for? And it would be like, I don't know. So it's just like, hell, you can just do anything. I don't, because in their mind, it's like, oh, well, this is easy. I ain't got to really do anything, and it's now I get very specific about mine. I want to be able to have somebody I can be with that's supportive of my life and my decisions and my success, or even trying to find my way, the way I would be, curious and wanted to be that person that supports them, on that same length as well. Being able to have an open line of communication, never making decisions when you're in a relationship that may be detrimental to your relationship. If you sit up here, you're on the verge of getting married or y'all engaged and stuff like that, and you got these certain things that's going on in your life, and you just make a decision about it, where that make your counterpart, your actual partner, feel some type of way, like, dad, you didn't even see how I felt about that, or all these different things is going on, like how they feel about it. They might, especially if it's something you really are not sure about, and you don't realize sometimes if you're just jumping into something because it sounds good, you had to do deeper research, understand what was going on in certain situations. Or when y'all have a disagreement, you don't have to yell. You don't have to put your hands on each other. You ain't got to cuss each other out. You can say, hey, I don't like this. This got me feeling some type of way. When the heat cools down, I'm going to go ahead and let you go ahead and have your space over there. I'm going to have my space over here, but we're not going to bed mad. And those are the things that I see, being very open, having communication, trust. When I'm not there, do I have to worry about you trying to harp on the next person because I'm not there, because you're desperate for that? I've been in relationships like that. It's like out of sight, out of mind. But if you're in that relationship with somebody and they can't trust you, and next thing you know, you got all these folks in the pipeline, like I said before, there's too many things flying around here. They're coming up with all these new damn diseases all the time. And if people don't understand, it's just scary when people say, oh, they look healthy, I'm not going to catch anything, or, oh, they can't get pregnant because I pulled out, some crazy stuff like that. And you really, that's not how science works. That's not how things go. But being able to have that relationship where they can be supportive to you, be that encouraging person. So when things are not really going that right, you can be that person's cheerleader to say, you know what, I got you. If you're going through this, your joy is my joy. Your sadness is my sadness. We'll figure this out. You're not dealing with it by yourself. When you're allowing yourself to be that person that they need, and that's the understanding you have, then that's good, because it's like when somebody asks you, what are you looking for in a relationship, and you really can't tell them, they can just give you any kind of line of BS. And then, it was just like one of the YouTubers I seen, they were going through since it's, YouTube, and, their relationship was pretty much, in the public eye on YouTube, it was really some bad stuff that went on in this person's life. And I felt really bad for them, and I used to be one of those people posting judgment. It's just like, what, I had to stop doing that, because even though you do have your say, because, people have like the celebrity things that's going on, and they were like, oh, especially like about the Kardashian thing, oh, Khloe's boyfriend stood up here and cheated on her, this is that, and everybody had their 2 cents in because she's seen what happened. And you have to understand, if you see how this person has did the baby mom or the prior relationship before you came in the picture, and they're not respecting that person, they were still dealing, but you're setting yourself in situations, sometimes you can start dating somebody and you might not know that they got another chick on the side. You end up being the side chick or the side dude, then you can understand, like, oh, okay, they got this going on, how many other people or persons or whatever, go ahead, baby, what kind of things they got going on in their life that they're not being honest with you about. And, I had my little say about it, because I've been in situations like that, but, not the way they, how they're always out there saying, oh, they're out there taking people's men and stuff like that. I feel like how you get that person and how they're going to end up leaving you. So you better just make sure when you find out little cracks and crevices and they're not being honest with you, that, that should have been out the door already as it is. But you have to be able to love yourself. If you have self-worth, you have self-respect, you're not going to allow somebody to challenge you. They're not going to, people that care about you are not going to ask you to sacrifice your happiness or your love for yourself as well as them to make that person happy. It has to be a give and take situation. If you see those, you get those gut feelings like something's really not right, your intuition, them spider tends to start going off like, those things ain't good. So you're allowing yourself to, you're going through these transitions to where it's allowing you to love yourself. It's allowing you to accept your gift for what it was, and being able to know this gift you carry. There's so many more that you have that has not kicked off yet, because you had to go through certain discoveries about your life on many levels. You had to understand yourself to the deepest, to the deepest core, being open to constantly receive those, doing your light duties, allowing yourself to do things and not wanting something in return, being loving, not placing judgment, like I was said about that situation. And, and I had to allow myself when I was looking at stuff like that, I'm just like, yeah, it might have been messed up, but we are not here. When they talk about this stuff on, these different social media, video platforms or channels or whatever, you might not have the whole story. But the way I look at it, I used to be very judgmental, like, well, you deserve that if you sit up here kicking with somebody that, you see that was involved, or that, they got this new baby that's about to come into life or whatever. But then you have to allow yourself to understand too, these things happen every day. But it's just, I feel like my opinion is, when it comes to people like that, it's a lot worse for them because everything is in the public eye. If you go into a really bad breakup and you've been with somebody for so long, everybody's going to constantly talk about it. But it's just like when the stuff started kicking off or whatever, and I had to really back myself up, and I said, you know what, stop being judgmental. You can't do that. That's their life. They're going to have to live it. When she decides to allow herself to love herself, she ain't going to deal with all this other, all this other, drama or whatever confusion she got going on in her life. Everybody has to go through that trial and tribulation of their journey, learning their lessons through the things that they do, allowing yourself to know whatever, decision is not really thought through. It can go any way. So it's just like when your life is changing, you're not allowing yourself to place judgment on yourself. You're allowing yourself to accept the change that's going through your life, the things you need to really see at, has a bigger picture, allowing yourself to be able to grow with it, and allow yourself to, let everything fall where it's supposed to, because sometimes if we're trying to be so forceful into anything, all these changes, or, oh, I'm ready to hurry up and get this so I can jump into this, everything's going to happen on divine time, and not just because you feel like, oh, I gave the answer, I did this, oh, I'm ready to go now. No, everything's taking time. There may be certain things you still, because it's like when you manifested things, you already placed it out to the universe. It's already yours, especially if it's something uh, that is, let me see, that you have already placed to the universe. You're manifesting, you're growing, you're healing where you need to go. You're getting these understandings every day. You're uplifting yourself as well as you're doing other people. And you have to understand whatever you're trying to manifest, it's coming for you. It's already yours, but you had to go through all these different stages in your life for you to appreciate those things. You have to be tested to see, do you have that type of patience? Are you going to have that understanding that is needed to be able to bring this gift into your reality? Are you going to have what it takes? Or when things get too hard, are you just going to jump ship? Because they're giving you things that they want you to really nurture and take care of, and know that you got whatever it takes plus more times 20, or 10,000. You got what it takes to keep maintaining this. You knew what it been felt like to be in the darkness. Even though darkness is not really that evil thing, but it's all about when you're in the darkness, but how are you looking at your darkness? Darkness can be very evil, but darkness can actually be that growth that is truly needed, because it's just like a plant got to be in the dirt, which is darkness. Got to get that nurture. It has to be the water. It has to be whatever kind of weather is going on, the sun, the rain. All these things are going for them to grow that seed out, to blossom, or whatever it is. Thing is, go ahead and sit there and wait, get all its nutrients and stuff like that, so it can go ahead and turn into, a butterfly. So everything is taking time, and a lot of times that can be frustrating to you if you don't, if you're staying too focused on everything, if you're staying so focused on it, you're putting more thought into it the way you're supposed to. A lot of times we don't understand when we're so focused on things that are trying to have control over certain situations. That's when the stress come in, because you're allowing yourself to try to control everything. You have to allow yourself to know if it's, if you need to allow yourself to make those changes, and universe is guiding you, sending those signs of what you should do. Allow that to do that, and then when you're allowing yourself to say, okay, I executed what they told me to, I'm growing, I'm learning, let me see where this is going to take me. So when you're allowing yourself to do that, it won't be as so hectic while you're going through this transition. You're allowing yourself to have fun, and a lot of times it's hard to do that when you're dealing with a lot of things. You're dealing with a lot of stressful situations, but there's a lot of times it's not even really that stressful. It's all about how you truly look at it, and you really had to see the depth of it. So it's just like going through all those different things. You have to really see it for what it is. Understand what is taking place in your life, because it allowed me, like, oh, I'm so tired of dealing with this. Oh, this is getting on my nerves. Nothing can get to you unless you allow it to. And if people be working hard, or or whatever is orchestrating in your life when it comes to different people like narcissists and sociopaths, psychopaths, if they're you giving that open range, what they're doing. They gaslight you, or they're putting out drama about you, about how they want people to see you. You worry about how you see yourself. You allow yourself to, as long as it's not putting your life in jeopardy or whatever, allow yourself to go through that change. Because when you're allowing yourself to go through that change and let things fall, let the chips fall where it may, all the things you were looking for as in you, all you had to do is look in the mirror. All the things you're wanting love, allow yourself to be, you're reflecting that. Everything that you're looking for has always been within. Every answer you need to have is already within. But you had to go through different trials. You had to go on different roads. You had to be able to connect with certain people. Because a lot of times when we're connecting with people, you might have that knowledge about certain things, but when they want you to learn something more, or they're wanting you to see a certain thing that you need to pay attention to, that person is probably going through as well. From you looking at it on the outside and say, oh, okay, now I understand it, not being judgmental, like, oh, this is how I was acting, because a lot of times if you're so used to doing things a certain way, it's going to come natural for you to act a certain way, and it may not be healthy, but you had to be able to allow yourself to say, okay, right here, this is something that might end up being a problem for me. Or you had to allow yourself to see, if I don't fix this and bring this to the table and allow myself to whatever they're trying to bring towards me, to say, hey, these things is no longer serving you. You have to look at the things that really uplift you in that way, give you joy, happiness, laughter, and see what that does. And also, see what works for you and what doesn't work for you. Eliminate the people that suck the energy out of you. Eliminate the people, no matter if it's family, if it's family, co-workers, whatever, you can sever that. Especially if it's at your job. Now, if I can see, if you have to have constant communication, keep it very cordial, keep it short. Oh, okay, we got to do this. All right, let me go here and go on my spot, and you can go ahead and go on yours. If I need to talk to you, you need to talk to me. Hey, that's it. And you're going about your business. I know sometimes when you're dealing with that, I know a lot of people I connect with on the side, they have issues with people at their job, and it's just like, if it's something where, I try to throw out, key questions, be able to help them understand what was going on. Especially, it's a blessing for me to know when they're coming at me about these questions. I'm like, yay, I can do this. I can help them because I've been through it already, and you're giving that knowledge towards somebody else, as well as you're coming and connected with them, and you're giving the knowledge they might need or whatever. And that's why I love connecting with y'all in all these different ways, because I'm learning more off of you as you're learning off of me. It's not like, I don't look at it as like, oh, you're coming here and I'm teaching you. No, there's a lot of things that I had to go through, but I started at different levels. But there's things I'm still healing from, things I'm still learning. So I'm doing it as a need to know basis. When I know, you'll know. Those are the things that's going on in my life. And there are so many people that can beautifully connect in that way. We're all healing in all different areas. You're allowing yourself, we all been through very traumatic things, whether it's like you didn't have fulfilling love in your life, you didn't have those people that were very supportive or nurturing towards you, so it's hard for you to place that on somebody else when you never received it. Like I told y'all, I had that love that was not traditional kind of love. It was like, it was very toxic, it was very volatile. We would fight, you know, and then it would, it's just like growing up and stuff like that. But then I allowed myself to see the change within, you know, it doesn't always have to be that way. If that person that you have to connect with is always like that, and they're, you're not bringing it to attention, like, hey, whether it's family or something like that, it's like, hey, this is like very draining. I'm really trying to go through these, positive process that I'm trying to, heal myself on. But these are hurting my feelings. When you're allowing that to come to the table and letting them know how you feel about that, even when you talk to the universe, they need you to understand. It's like when certain things are going on in your life that you truly need to get that deep understanding for, you have to allow yourself to be honest with yourself. Like, okay, is this making me jealous, or is this making me mad, or this is really getting me into that frustration mode? You have to allow yourself to see, is this something that you can take care of? Is this something you can change? Now, if it's something with you, you can have that choice to change if that's what is supposed to happen. Like sometimes you feel like you can fix things, and maybe it wasn't in your life for you to fix, but it was in your life to know, educate you, learn you, bring you forth and see the light with what the things that you have done in your life that you needed to do or needed to learn from. So it's just like everything is like, it's just like a different chapter of your life. You're being able to learn yourself, on a deeper level. Some people get all up in their feelings when you say, oh, I know myself, how this and this and this and that. And then next thing you know, you go down a spiritual, you have a spiritual awakening that has occurred in your life, dark night of the soul, kundalini, ascension. And then there's a whole part of you that you didn't even have no clue about. You can be walking around in your youth suit all the time, but there's different parts of you that is been laying dormant for a long time. But you had to be able to go through all these different levels of your life for you to be able to know that part of you. It's always been there, because it'll be foreign to you, but yet very familiar. It's like, why, I never did this before, but yet this feels like something I've done before. It feels like this deja vu, because these things it's already been written. It's kind of like Notre Dame and stuff like that. All these things has been written. You had to go through certain trials. You had to go through certain, you know, uh, situations, chapters, closed chapters in your life. Go through that darkness, heal from there, acknowledge that there, find that love there, and then allow yourself to be in that darkness, but being able to use the light within yourself to guide you out of that tunnel, because you got what it takes is all about what you allowing yourself to apply to. So I hope that you were able to resonate with the content of this video. Y'all probably try to do at least one or two more videos because I'm like really starting to get drained. But I love, when I can be able to, put out a video because it's new things that's coming towards me that I'm truly appreciating the fact that I can be able to share with you, to be along your path, because sometimes it's not saying that I know everything, but it's just like it's good when you can be able to get a second opinion on things because a lot of times we can look at something and you'll be missing all the things that's on the side when you're just looking, you got that one track. So it's just a blessing when you can be able to feed off each other's values as well as their opinions and different views that they have that may be able to help you as well as that other person. So I hope that you were able to resonate with the content of my video. I would love to give a post notification shout out to Miss Tally Dancy and Divine Lion. Um, S by Espadi. I hope I pronounced your name right, James. My fam. I apologize if I mess up your name. I do. But if this is you're new to the channel, much love to you and welcome. So good to have you. Drop a line, give me a thumbs up, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you know when I'm about to upload the video. If you need to get in touch with me on the sideline and you don't feel comfortable with sharing your experiences on here, you can always find me on Messenger, Facebook Messenger. If you have to send me a friend request, I'll just connect with you on the Messenger, but I'm not accepting any friend requests. I just really rather stay connected on that time. If you're overseas, don't worry about the times because I told a lot of people that I have my boundaries, my healthy boundaries. Like if you're on, you're in the U.S., I'm on Pacific Standard Time in Georgia, so you can contact me from 10 o'clock in the morning all the way until 10:30 and 10:30 in the evening. And this goes on for all 7 days of the week. If it's detrimental and extreme emergency, like if your phone gets cut off or something like that, you got to go where Wi-Fi. I get it. I understand. So I really try to be, flexible about that. But I also try to, I also want my boundaries respected as well. So I will see y'all on my next video. Like I said, I'm gonna go ahead and try to push out one more. If I can do two, I will. But it's just, I didn't really get that much sleep last night because my babies, and especially with my going through all these crazy transitions, it's like so many things is on my mind. So like I said, I'm gonna go ahead and push that one out and take it from there. So I will see you on my next video. Much love to you. Peace. Be wild.